I'm coming at you live from Rostock, Germany, and this is another edition of Totally Out of Control News. I'm here by myself because I'm fixing to go to work because somebody's got to work and make that money, and so I'm the one. Um, yeah, let's get into it. I came at you yesterday with some of the things that have been going on in the past week, but there's been some important developments in the past 24 hours that need to be spoken about. And so let's just jump right into it, all right? So, number one, before I even start, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, hang tight. It gets a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? But stay with me and I'll try to cover all the important topics, okay? I'm not supported by any kind of money. Nobody is supporting me uh, so far as sending me money. That's cool. I ain't tripping. Um, but therefore, you don't have any commercials when you watch my stream, so that's okay. And if you make a comment, I'm out here for you to respond. So thanks for your comments, number one, and number two, don't hold back, uh, because I know the subject matter is also a little adult related. So let's stay open minded and keep it all straight. All right. So number one. Let's talk about Russia and Ukraine. Now, this was a war that's been going on for what, like 4 years now? And we have a president at the United States. His name is Donald J. Trump. He's been elected somehow, some way, for a second term, and he's been in office for over a year and a half now. And prior to his being elected to office, that was one of the things that he ran on, was the fact that he was going to stop the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. 24 hours, he said he was going to do that. Well, he's a little bit late. So, but he tried a game with Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, a few years ago, and it didn't go over so well. Vladimir Zelensky didn't go along with his game, did not back his bullshit, and he stayed in power, and Donald Trump was voted out of office. So he gets back into office now, and even though he knows that the Americans support the fight for democracy in Ukraine, the subject matter of sending more weapons to Ukraine has always been a touchy subject because of the fact it's cost a little bit of money. But you know what also costs a little bit of money? Is a ballroom, is arch, is a reflecting pool. This is all a waste of money when Americans are being cut off from their SNAP benefits, when people's medical costs are going up exponentially, when gas prices are going up. Now they're up to 4.52 a gallon. What was it a year and a half ago? It was down to 3.80 a gallon or something like that. So I'm just thinking maybe uh, he might not have the right thing in mind when it comes to uh, what's going on and what the American public is feeling, because Donald Trump has never had to worry about paying for gas. Donald Trump has never had to worry about money because he had $1 million given to him as a kid by his father. So, but insofar as the Russia-Ukraine war, the Ukrainians are making some serious gains, and Crimea, I see, is right around the corner. And I'm just going to throw this out there. Volodymyr Zelensky, you guys need to do something to get Zaporizhia power plant under control, because if you guys make too many gains, then they're going to blow that power plant and cause a major problem. So you guys need to somehow get into that Zaporizhia power plant and take out those Russians that are over there in that area, because that's a very serious problem. If they start to lose too much, that's going to be their go-to thing, is blowing the Zaporizhia power plant. So I hope you guys got some stuff going on over there with the special services and to get that done. So next subject, like I said, the Ukrainians are doing a great job. Attacked Russia on various fronts yesterday. Moscow was hit numerous times. Also by the Sheremetyevo airport, there was some wreckage on the runway. So you guys keep it up, and keep on fighting hard for Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. So in regards to the tariff situation in America, now the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump administration, so now the Trump administration is going to have to refund all the tariff money that they took in, and that was $1.7 trillion. No, $1.7 trillion. So that money is now going to have to be given back to the American public, because that's who paid the tariffs, not the other countries, you guys. And so I don't know what kind of system that they got going on, but it's supposed to be up and running, and you guys can file to get your tariff money back that you had to pay during that time when the tariffs were in play. And I don't know how they're going to get it all back to you, but I know one thing: I would be sick to my stomach thinking about how I paid out all this money and it's not been in my pocket to use, and now I'm fighting to pay gas that is now $4.52 a gallon. I'm fighting to pay for my groceries for my kids and my family, and pay my rent and everything else, while all these dudes around Trump are using his inside information to play the stock market to enrich themselves in amazing ways, and I'll get to that a little bit later too. You will not be surprised. But everybody's using this inside information to play the stock market, to set those bets for when Trump is fixing to make some sort of a statement, so they can enrich themselves. Yeah, I'm sorry, Happy Nomadic. I'm hearing you. I understand you, and that's why I'm sitting here in Germany doing what I'm doing, trying to get the word out. So let's talk about another thing. Donald Trump talked about free speech a whole lot when he was getting running for office. Talked about free speech and how people were, the Democrats were against free speech. You know what I'm saying? I speak to you as a Republican. Now, I am a Republican, but I never voted for Donald Trump, never was a MAGA supporter, and I do not belong to cults. So that's just the way it is. So, but one thing is for certain: there are definitely some members of the GOP that were probably very, very bad people. Bad people that probably hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. Bad people that did bad things to little girls. I'm saying. And I will let you know, I am not for those guys. I'm for people with some moral character, some conservative values, but yet not so crazy as Donald Trump with him reading the Bible on TV. Donald Trump doesn't probably never read a Bible in his life. You know what I'm saying? They probably put that on a big cardboard for him to read, but he's not a church going dude. All right, just so you know. You know what I'm saying? So when he does all this, it's just for show. It's just for show. It's just like for him, an episode of what was that show he had? Oh shit! The Apprentice. He thinks like he's doing a show. It's like The Apprentice. Remember when he was running for president a few years ago? He's like, I can act presidential. Yeah, this dude is a freaking clown. Well, anyway, back to the free speech thing. Well, there are some comedians out there that are trolling Trump every day. Every day they are trolling Trump. Now, you really can't help but freaking see the hypocrisy of all of his actions and the things that he does. I mean, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that people are still taking up for him when he's doing things that are totally stupid. You know what I'm saying? And so he gets trolled for that stuff, of course. Um, in Iran, he thought he was going to go over there and do a whole bunch of stuff, and they were going to just give up all the uranium, and they were going to stop shooting the girls who didn't want to wear their habibs or whatever they call them, hijabs. But what I'm saying is, Donald Trump came in and acted like he was really caring about the Iranians that were getting shot. Donald Trump came in and acted like he cared about the nuclear, the uranium and everything. So then he went ahead and bombed their nuclear facilities, or where they had their nuclear facilities buried, and said it was all totally obliterated. And that's what he told everybody. It was all totally obliterated. So then he comes back and does this. He takes out their Navy, takes out their Air Force and everything like that. But the Iranians, they ain't trying to hear it. The Iranian nation is a nation with mountains all around. And the Hormuz Straits, where that waterway goes through by the Persian Gulf, I mean, it's like a little small area where you can only get like maybe, 4 or 5 ships through at one time. But because it is so small and so, the Iranians have pretty much control over that. They got areas over there in those mountainsides where they can just shoot rockets like freaking shooting ducks in a pond. So that's why when Trump did the shit that he did, he freaking kicked a can of worms that he didn't want to do. So now the Iranians are saying, okay, you want to keep on attacking us? We ain't want to let no ships through your Hormuz Straits. And now that's why gas prices have gone up, because 25% of the world's oil comes through the Hormuz Straits, from Kuwait, from Saudi Arabia, from UAE. That's where it's all coming from. So you guys, the gas prices are going to be going up. And because of this stupid stuff that Donald Trump did, the Iranians are trolling him as well. Have you guys seen the Lego videos? They are so freaking funny. My gas prices here in Germany have gone a tick down today. I heard on the news this morning that diesel has gone down a little bit. That's here in Germany. Now, your prices have stayed the same for about a week. You're at $4.52 a gallon right now, national average. But in some states like California, they're paying like over $6 a gallon. So wherever you're at, your prices will vary as to what state you're in. No? So let's get to the next subject. I got to go to work here in a little while. So hypocrisy in Republican politics. Now, this is what's really getting to me. Because somebody doesn't do what Donald Trump wants them to do, then they're a traitor. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to get the names of these pedophiles out in public and sign that discharge petition, which is actually one of the things that the Republican Party ran on. And by the way, on YouTube right now, there is a congressional hearing with the Epstein survivors right now live. So check it out. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene did that, she was listed as a traitor to MAGA, and they're trying to kill her or her kid, threatening her kid and all sorts of other stuff. But there's a whole bunch of other people. If you are not signing down on everything that Donald Trump wants, then you're against him. If you ain't down with his ballroom, then you're against him. If you ain't down with his arch, you're against him. If you ain't down with him having his picture in your passport, you're against him. If you ain't down with him signing his name on the $100 bill, then you're against him. And they will talk bad about you right away. He will say you are a traitor. And therefore, what was the guy's name? Cassidy over there in Louisiana. He just got voted out. Cassidy signed on to impeach Trump for his actions in the stuff from 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and he just got voted out. He lost his primary. Okay, and so now you got some Trump sycophant that's going to be taking his place. However, I would say that Trump sycophant, when he goes to the general election in November, will definitely lose. But congressman who's been sitting in Congress, who has worked across the aisle with Democrats to get shit done, actually, for his constituents, I think has a place there. You know what I'm saying? If you have some sort of moral code and you have a good character, then you should stay in Congress and you should fight against this president and you should make your voice heard. All right? Nevertheless, because of the decisions of the Supreme Court, there has been some serious gerrymandering going on all around America in regards to all the states. Every state is trying to redraw their district lines and stuff. And in some states, it's becoming very, very racial. Very, very racial. The white Christian nationalists that are in Congress, some of them, are going out of their way to try to draw out the black population's vote. And that's, for me, is very, very annoying because America has come so far. I'm saying we've come so far. We've gotten past the whole slavery thing, but we still are not doing what we need to do to help minority communities get a leg up, because the fact is, at every opportunity, the Trump administration, the government almost always will take the list of the individuals that are applying for a job and look at the 7 white guys and 2 women and 1 black guy and always choose a white guy. And that brings me to the next point, which is, you guys may have noticed that Donald Trump has gotten rid of 3 cabinet secretaries in his time since he's been in office. And each and every one of those cabinet secretaries were women. Women. All right? So this is another example of Donald Trump's misogyny, his unwillingness to treat women with respect. He's been caught on camera numerous times talking shit to women journalists, talking about quiet piggy and this and that, and just totally saying offensive stuff, talking about they are not important, they're dumb, and this and that. It's disrespectful. And I would love to see the Italian Prime Minister have a 5-minute session with Trump, just alone in a room, because he totally disrespected this chick, and I really wish she would have her 5 minutes with him. I bet she would be itching to have that. So, and her name is Georgia Meloni. Georgia, I feel for you, girl. So let's talk about something else that Donald Trump is doing. We both know, or we all know, that Donald Trump is somebody who does not believe in science. He's totally disagreeing with climate change. He's ignoring it. He paid a French firm $1 billion from your tax money to stop building a wind farm off the coast of America that was going to generate, I don't know how many kilowatts of freaking energy at a lower cost to the environment and a lower cost to the consumers, just because he doesn't like wind turbines. He calls them windmills, but I call them wind turbines because that's what they are. So that's just another use of your tax dollars in a screwed up way that, I mean, he's like shooting himself in the foot. You're with this wind farm, you're fixing to save Americans money, but rather than do that, you go ahead and give out $1 billion of taxpayer money to stop it. It's freaking crazy. So let's get to another crazy thing, and that is the Cash Patel incident. Now, everybody knows that Cash Patel was reported on by The Atlantic for some accusations made against him, reports that have been written, internal reports and stuff like that from the FBI about his alcoholism, alleged alcoholism, his time away from the office when he was supposed to be available and stuff, and his time that he spends in the Poodle Room, which is a place where people go to drink and spend time and smoke cigars and act all big. And also his time in other areas, such as flying to Italy to go party with the guys in the U.S. hockey team. We've all seen the videos of him slamming beers in the back, wearing the gold medal from the hockey team and everything like that. That Donald Trump continues to let this go, it's not amazing. It's not amazing because Donald Trump loves some guys that are going to do some stupid stuff like he does, like maybe going to the dressing rooms of underage girls while they're getting ready for a pageant, or to go and grab some girl by the pussy because he can. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff that he likes. He likes that stuff. And even though he's old and decrepit now, and his hands are all, he would still love to do that. And it's said, it has been said, it has been said that there is a young lady that is writing most of his tweets, that is by his side a lot of the time. And what's China? Yeah, I heard about that too. I'll get to that in a second. Thanks for the comment. That's from Andrea Alcatraz. Yeah, all right. I'll get to that in a second, right? Yeah. So what I was going to say is, so Cash Patel is just got himself in a stupid situation right now because what he alleged in his lawsuit, he actually tried to deny later in front of the press corps. Tried to say it was a lie when it was in his lawsuit. And the fool made the lawsuit. So he's going to be out of there. Before that goes to court, before he is called to be deposed, he will have to retire. He will have to retire or resign or something, or Trump will kick him out. Because there's no way that Trump is going to let him be deposed. I can tell you that now. So Cash Patel, it won't be long. So I'm going to get to that in a second, Andrea. But I wanted to talk about Melania. Now, I try to stay away from Melania because it's kind of stupid. Everybody knows that she was, brought over to the States by Paolo Zampoli. Paolo Zampoli's got a position in the Trump administration till today, still there. His ex-girlfriend got in some trouble, and then Paolo Zampoli pulled some strings and had ICE go ahead and deport her back to Brazil. And now she's pissed off. She's in Brazil. She's gave a couple of interviews, and she's let out some serious information and allegations against Melania, including some of her criminal activities from before, and also some of the things that they were doing before. Now, we all know that Jeff Bezos paid 40 million bucks to put on this film, Melania, And yeah, it bombed. It made like 17 million, so they lost serious money there. But they don't care. Jeff Bezos has got money to throw away, and he's never had to pay for gas either. So, but the thing is, her image has been tarnished completely. And so she's pretty much staying out of the limelight right now. That's why you didn't see her in China with the orange orangutan. And the Epstein comments that she made the other, what was that, like a month ago, she came out and did this press conference or whatever and made this statement in regards to Epstein and that she was not a victim or whatever. It doesn't matter. She slept with Epstein before she slept with Trump. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that now, all right? Um, but her friend, her ex-friend, Amanda Ongaro, this is somebody who's been spent a lot of time with her and the family. I mean, they know her son. The son was kept here and is now in the custody of the father, whom had her sent to Brazil because he said that she was violating her visa. So all because he was mad at her and wanted to get back at her. And so that's what the Trump administration is doing as well. They are using every agency of the government to attack people who do not agree with them. That means if you are talking about something and Trump doesn't like it, then he will use any agency in the administration to check into you, to check your background, to check your finances, to check this, check that. And if they can find anything to use against you, then they will use the full force of the law or drop it off on the local police to let them know, hey, you need to be investigated, or hey, you're breaking the law. Huh? And that's what you guys really need to pay attention to, because it's going to get worse later on. And I'm going to get into that right at the end. But I will point out this to my comment from Andrea here is the fact that China, they have used their reverse, the technology to rebuild things after they take the shit apart and then they figure out how to rebuild it, right? Reverse something or other. Anyway, hey Sylvia, how's it going? Thanks for watching. So anyway, so they use this ability. So they get one of these chips and then they take it apart, put it back together and shit and rebuild it. So they are reverse engineering. Sorry, thanks, Mike. But they're really good at that. They're really good at that. And so that's why, like in the 80s when we were making videos and VCR was a big thing and stuff, and we had movies on VCRs and stuff. All they had to do is have one. They figured out how to do that, and then they were making the movies, and they were making like millions of these movies and selling them all around the world. Yeah, pirate copies of all sorts of stuff sold all around the world. And that's what they do. That is what they do. And that's how they beat the system in America. They don't need the stuff from America. All they need is one. And then they just copy the stuff. Reverse engineering. That's right, Michael. You're right on that. So, and insofar as everything that America has, such as the F-22, the F-35, and everything else, this is stuff that is stolen from America and then brought over to China on USB sticks or microchips or whatever, and then they read that stuff out and then rebuild the stuff, reverse engineer the whole thing, and that's how technology is stolen. And that's why companies like Apple and Google and all these other companies, Microsoft, they know what is going on, and that's why they go to the extreme levels of secrecy that they have to protect their products. So once again, there is so much going on in the world, and the Trump administration is doing everything they can to distract from the Epstein files. And like I said, the Epstein survivors are on YouTube right now, live before Congress, and they are letting their voices be heard. And like I said, there's so many guys in government right now, senators, congressmen, that were probably partaking in some activities, some really bad activities from them. And they're trying to protect themselves, but they're also, because they are MAGA loyalists, are protecting Trump, because Trump is a member, I would say a founding member of the Epstein class. Epstein, Trump, Paolo Zampoli, Jean-Luc Brunel, John Casablancas, all of them perverts. All of them perverts. All of them use underage girls. And in my head heading on my page, you will see an FBI document from I'm not sure what year it's from, but they said right there that Trump was actively recruiting girls. Okay? So Trump had a modeling agency, Trump had the pageants, and Trump was throwing look of the year contests, having look of the year contests, and Epstein and him would be there and the girls would come in. Now, many of these girls were very poor, their families were very poor. They accepted sums of money so that they wouldn't be having to worry about their daughters. But the thing is they should have been, because they were used and abused in some very bad ways, okay? Okay, I got to go to work, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's show. I hope you look into some of the things that I talked about. Remember those names from the Epstein class: Jean-Luc Brunel, John Casablancas, um, Paolo Zampoli, Donald Trump, and like I said, look into them. And then also look up NSPM7. That's what Donald Trump is going to be using against American citizens later on when push comes to shove and he has to pull the trigger. He's got some people that are waiting in the wings to start picking American citizens up. Because if you do not agree with him, or if you oppose any of his policies or stuff like that, he's going to be trying to pick you up. There's been a lot of scientists that have been disappearing here lately in the last 2-3 months. And I'm pretty sure that some of them have gone to ground because they know what's coming. And I would assume there's a lot of military people that are also disappearing. They're going to ground because they know what's coming. And I'm telling you now, if you're not prepared when the time comes and Donald Trump pulls that trigger and says martial law or anything like that, then you might as well get your guns and hide in a corner, because they're going to be coming. All right, they're going to be coming. All right, guys, this is Matt Fox. It's Totally Out of Control News, and I'm going to be coming at you again tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. I love you. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and freaking subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, all right? You can help me out. Watch some of my old videos and stuff like that, some of my shorts, because I guarantee you I gave a lot of information on those shorts that you may not know that happened, but I foresaw a whole lot of stuff. And I'm telling you now, since I not met Donald Trump, but like in the 80s when I ran into him for the first time, I knew since then the dude was a piece of shit, all right? And MAGA is now turning on him, and yeah, the MAGA movement is dying. It's all collapsing now. So, Totally Out of Control News, Matt Fox coming at you. See you tomorrow.